Welcome everybody to this practice. Today's practice will be dedicated to the hamstrings and low back. So I'll guide you through some nice, slow, deep yin poses that will really get in deeply to the hamstrings and the low back. So a lot of times if our hamstrings are tight, it's not necessarily just because the hamstrings are tight. It could also be related to the low back. So if the low back is tight, then that of course just kind of cinches everything up. So that is why we will be focusing on both low back and the hamstrings. Our props today will be yoga blocks and a blanket. Um, and if you don't have these, you can use like cushions or whatever else you may have available that you use to incorporate into your yoga practice. Okay, my dears, let's get started in what we call dragonfly in yin, or wide-legged forward fold. Now here, if you'd like to sit on the blanket to elevate the hips and kind of help tilt the pelvic forward, that you can do that. That's really beneficial for tight hamstrings and also the low back. I'm going to be bringing in my blocks as my hamstrings are very tight this morning or today. So just kind of wiggle the legs out to they're comfortable, and making sure that the legs, you don't bring the legs out super wide and so much so that it compromises your ability to fold forward. If the legs are too wide, the knees might lift just because the hamstrings are really tight. So if you bring the legs in closer, you're still going to get a nice stretch through those hamstrings. And we want to make sure that the toes and the knees are staying up towards the sky. Okay, so once you get settled here, take an inhale, lengthen up out of the spine, out of the low back, and then exhale, folding forward, melting forward here, rounding through the spine, and making your way into this fold, letting the chin fall in towards the chest, and adjusting your blocks or whatever you may be using here. And settling here. Deactivating the legs. Notice if those quads want to just turn on, or if the kneecaps are wanting to lock, we want to release that. And now focusing on sending the breath to the belly, the low back, mid back. And exhaling through the nose, focusing on letting every muscle soften. And we can bring in a mantra to our practice as we inhale, think, expand. So inhale, expand. And exhale, soften. Relaxing the jaw, the shoulders. Doing your best not to force anything here. And as the muscles soften, the body softens. Maybe the body's able to go a little deeper into this fold. Again, without force. We'll take 5 more slow, deep breaths here. Before coming out of this pose, just take a gentle rock of the head side to side, allowing the brow to get a little massage here on your blocks or your props, releasing any tension that may be held here. Always amazes me how much tension or tenderness I feel when I do this. And then come back to center. Let's take a big cleansing breath before we come up. So inhale through the nose, fill the belly up, the low back, the mid back, all the way up to the shoulders. Big open mouth exhale. Let's actually take one more breath, doing the same thing, but sending the breath all the way down the legs, the back of the legs through the hamstrings. Big breath in. Expand, expand, expand the breath. Open mouth exhale to soften. Beautiful. And bringing the hands to the mat, slowly pressing the upper body up. Take your time. And then we'll take a few breaths here at the top. Let the shoulders soften, let the legs relax. Some nice, slow, deep breaths. Noticing any sensations in the body. One more breath here. Open mouth exhale. Good. Opening the eyes, and just move your blocks off to the side. And then very carefully bring the legs out in front of you. Let's give them a little wiggle, a little shake. Good. And then we will come into another forward fold. This time keep your right leg out in front. Bring that left heel into the groin, the sole up against the thigh. And then I always kind of like to just walk the hips out, move the flesh out from the cheeks. And then same thing here. We can use our blocks. Maybe you stay on the blanket if you were sitting on the blanket. Good. And then we'll take that inhale to lengthen up through the spine. And then exhale, folding forward here. Finding the support that you need here. And once you settle here into the pose, give your attention to the legs. Notice any part of the legs that may be wanting to activate, and letting that go. And now you should be feeling this in the left side lower back, as well as maybe that right hamstring. Relaxing the shoulders, the jaw. Breathing into the low back, the belly. Inhale to expand. Exhale to soften. Maybe you find that the body is open a little bit more and maybe able to come a little deeper into your fold. Always just meeting your body where it's at, never forcing anything here in our yin practice. Let's take 5 more breaths here. And now before coming up out of this pose, let's do a little opening and shifting of the jaw to relax or release any tension in the jaw. So just opening the mouth while you're still here in your fold and just shifting the jaw side to side, open and close really wide. Maybe stick the tongue out really far as the mouth is open. And then coming back, taking a cleansing breath. Big breath in, fill the belly, the back up. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Pressing the hands into the floor to support, bringing the upper body back up. Really take your time. We want to support the low back as we make our way back up. Good. We're going to soften the shoulders here. Take a few breaths here. Pause in between our transitions. One more breath here. Opening the eyes. We'll just set that block off to the side. We'll come into a twist. So just supporting that left knee, cross that left foot over the right thigh. Wrap your right arm around. Take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall through the crown of the head. And then exhale, bring that left hand back behind you, making your way into your twist. And we want to focus on breathing into the belly. Big breath in. On the exhale, gently pull the belly button towards the spine and then activate your twist from your core. And again, not forcing the body to come into this deep twist right away. Just think in each time that you inhale, you're expanding and lengthening. And as you exhale, you're opening a little deeper into your twist, finding your edge here. Maybe it feels good to turn the head towards that left shoulder. And we'll just take 3 more breaths here. Now taking a breath to come out of the twist. So inhale and exhale, untwist coming forward. From here, we'll come into half shoelace. So you're just going to cross that left knee over the right as much as you can. Maybe it looks like this, or maybe it's over here. If it's here, you can use the support of a block underneath that thigh or knee. And then just kind of wiggle those hips again to move the flesh out from the cheeks. Take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall, and then exhale, walking the hands forward just until you feel that stretch down that right hamstring. And then just let the head be heavy, dropping the chin in towards the chest, making sure the shoulders aren't up by the ears. Let them melt down the back, releasing the glutes, releasing the low back. Nice, slow, deep breaths here. Inhale, expanding the breath into the back. And exhale, softening all the muscles. And we'll just take a few more breaths here. I know this pose can be a little intense. Let's just take a gentle rock with the head side to side, releasing any tension in the neck. Make it nice, slow movement. And then come back to center. We'll take a cleansing breath here, filling up that low back. Big inhale in. Big open mouth exhale. Good. Slowly coming up out of this pose, we'll uncross that left leg and make our way into a little windshield wiper here. So bring the hands back behind you, widen the feet, and then just dropping the knees side to side. Good. Then we'll make our way to doing this on the other side. So we'll keep that left leg extended now. Right heel, sole of the foot to the thigh. Wiggling the flesh out and bringing in your props. Take that inhale, lengthen up nice and tall, and then exhale, melting here into your fold. And just meeting your body where it's at on this side. As you inhale, expand. And as you exhale, soften. And continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Doing a little bit more jaw release here before we come up. So once again, opening the mouth, shifting the jaw side to side, making any movements here in the jaw that feel good. Good. And then coming back, taking that cleansing breath. Big inhale. Fill up the back. Expand every muscle in the back. Big open mouth. Exhale. And slowly pressing yourself up. Engaging the core slightly to support the low back. And we'll take a few breaths here at the top. I am definitely feeling this. And just noticing this new energy or vibration that may be occurring in your body, down the spine, the back, the legs. And just letting that flush through. Let's take one more cleansing breath here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Beautiful. And we'll come into our twist on this side. So bringing that right knee up, crossing that right foot over, wrapping that left arm around. Inhale, lengthen up. And then exhale, right hand comes back behind you. Sitting up nice and tall. Guiding your twist to come from your core. And then opening up the shoulder. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Last breath to come out of the twist. Inhale deeply. Exhale, untwist, coming forward, coming into our half shoelace here. So guiding that right knee over top of the left. Good. Take your inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. And then exhale, walking forward just till you feel that stretch in that left hamstring. Now notice if that left leg is activating and kind of energetically pushing forward. Release that. So as you release the low back, you release the glutes, you release the hips, you may find that that leg kind of just shifts back organically. And that's what we want to do so that we're releasing any gripping or holding going on in the low back and the hips. And then just letting that head fall, chin in towards the chest, relax the shoulders. And also don't think that you need to squeeze that right thigh in to keep the knee aligned over the left. If you're having to activate that right leg in any sort of way, just let that knee come out a little further past, or the inside of the knee, I should say, so you don't have to engage the legs to hold it there. Remember, we want to focus on releasing the engagement of the muscles. Gently rocking the head side to side here. Coming back to stillness. Taking a big cleansing breath. And coming up out of this pose nice and slow. Good. We'll uncross that leg. Come into our windshield wiper here. Just a little counter pose. Bringing the hands back behind you and dropping the knees side to side. Good. And now let's make our way down onto our backs. So lowering yourself down nice and easy. And once you get here, let's bring the knees into the chest, hugging the knees in, taking a few rocks side to side. And then coming back to center, lower your left foot to your mat. Extend that right leg up, foot towards the ceiling, the sky, interlacing the fingers behind the back of the thigh. And then just point and flex through that right foot. And rotate through the ankle. Good. And then coming to stillness here, you may want to put the blanket underneath your head if you're feeling that your shoulders are kind of lifting off of the floor. And otherwise, we want to make sure that those shoulder blades are planted deeply to the earth. And holding here, or maybe you slide the hands up even further. So having the hands on the calf. And just breathing here to the belly, to the low back. Remembering to soften on each exhale. Let's take 3 more slow breaths here. Last breath, big breath in, big breath out. Good. Releasing the hands, bend that right knee, hug that right knee into the chest, and let's extend that left leg all the way out, heel to the mat. Good. And you can rotate that right ankle. And then let's just take one full breath here, breathing into the belly. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Bring that left foot back to the mat and then hugging that left knee into the chest. Lower your right foot to the mat. And now we'll send that left foot up towards the ceiling, holding onto the back of the thigh here. Point and flex through the left foot, rotate through the ankle. And then we'll come to hold here in this hamstring stretch, breathing into the belly. As you exhale, let the belly soften, the low back release. Noticing if the chin is up really high. You want to tuck the chin in so that the spine and the neck are all one length. This may be also if you need the blanket underneath the head to keep that alignment. And now maybe sliding the hands further down the leg if that's accessible. And we just want to keep our head to the earth. Taking 3 more breaths here. One last breath, cleansing inhale and exhale. And we'll hug that left knee into the chest. Extend that right leg all the way out, heel to the mat. Taking a full breath here, fill the belly up. Exhale to release and soften. Good. Right foot comes to the mat, and then we'll hug that right knee in as well as the left. Squeeze it in. And now let's send both feet up towards the ceiling, holding on to the backs of the thighs. Press down through the low back and the shoulders. Point and flex through the feet. Rotate through the ankles. And then bend the knees. Lower your feet down to your mat. Grab one of your blocks. We're going to come into a supported bridge. So walking the heels in towards the glutes. Press into the heels. Curl your tailbone up towards your belly button. Pressing into the heels. Lift the hips up. Bringing the block at its lowest level. Right underneath the hips. Good. And then once you get settled here, just bring the knees back up and let the knees fall in towards the chest. So opening up the low back here. You feel your upper back really getting heavy into the earth, the shoulders sinking down. And breathing here to the belly, to the low back. Let's take one more breath here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Sending the feet up towards the ceiling, extending the legs. And you can have your hands resting here at the thighs, or maybe you bring the palms of the hands to the mat. Coming into what we call waterfall pose. Letting the feet be at ease. Big breath into the belly. Exhale, let the belly soften, the low back release. Tucking that chin in towards the chest. You may feel your legs swaying a bit side to side, or some energy running through the legs. And just allowing that to flow through. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Last breath, big breath to the belly. Big breath out. Bending the knees. lowering the feet down one at a time to the mat. Good. Pressing into the heels, curl that tailbone up, lift the hips, take that block out, and then very slowly lower yourself down, upper back, mid back, lower back, and then the hips, letting everything just sink here. We'll just take 3 breaths here. Last breath. And once again, bring the knees into the chest, hugging them in, taking a few rocks side to side. And we'll come into our last hamstring stretch here. So coming into a V or wide-legged straddle here. So just widening the legs, holding on to the backs of the thighs, or maybe you hold on to the big toes with your peace fingers, whatever's accessible to you here. Lengthen through the neck by tucking the chin in. We want to plug those shoulders to the earth as well as the low back. And we will just take 7 slow breaths here. Last breath, big breath in, big breath out. And slowly bringing the feet in together, soles of the feet together. So coming into a butterfly. Hold the feet here. Send the knees away from you. Draw the shoulders to the earth. One big breath here. Big breath out. Release the feet. Lower your feet to your mat. And then just walk the feet out so they're the width of your mat. We'll do a little windshield wiper here. You can open the arms out to a T and just dropping the knees side to side. Nice and slow movement. And coming back to center. And just send one leg out and then the other, making your way into Shavasana. Maybe you cover yourself with your blanket or use it under the head. Or just come to meet the whole body to the earth. Taking a big cleansing breath. letting every muscle soften. Letting all the work that you did integrate into every part of the body. And taking an expansive inhale, filling up every part, every cell of your body. And on your exhale, allowing more softening to occur. And staying here in Shavasana as long as your body needs. I will end my time with you here. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope that your hamstrings and low back feel very open and stretch and expansive and soft and just delicious. And may you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.